Welcome to Nature Therapy Online. Hi there folks, and welcome to episode 28 of Nature Therapy Online. So I'm in the same location as last week, in a similar sort of situation with the weather as last week. So I'm at the back of my garden in the same place as I was when I made the moon episode. So if you hear me treading and you hear this kind of nice crunchy sound, listen, that's just me on the snow. The snow was falling quite fairly heavily today, actually. We don't usually get this much snow consistently in Scotland. Usually it turns to ice, or the rain comes down and washes it away pretty quickly, but it's been quite consistent over the last couple of weeks, which has been really nice. And I was just sat in my house before, looking out into the garden, and just this stillness came over me as I was watching the birds trying to take some seed from the little bird feeder we have in the garden. And I just took a minute just to be still, just to be completely still. I thought that is something that I've not really approached on this podcast before, that really simple theme about nature and about connecting with it, and that's sometimes by not specifically looking for any particular aspects of nature or any particular species, and I'm going out and saying, well, okay, today I'm going to look for a type of tree, and I'm going to try to explore it with my senses, or do any of those sorts of quite specific activities where we're looking for particular phenomena or species or whatever, but actually connecting with nature in another way that's simpler, but can also be more difficult. And that's simply by just being completely still. And I'm going to invite you now, wherever you are, whether you're indoors or perhaps outdoors, lying in bed, cooking some food, on a walk with your headphones on, wherever it is, whatever it is you're doing, to just take a moment right now just to be completely still, and to let your mind and your thoughts come and go, not to hold on to any particular thought. Focus on your breath and be still. Be completely still. And if thoughts come into your mind, just notice them. Notice how they make you feel, and let them go without following them. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but where I am, there's a lot of sounds from the winter birds chirping away. And as I hear those sounds, I'm letting them come and be a part of my experience without letting my mind wander about what type of bird it might be or what the bird is doing. You try that with me. just to be with this sound of the birds on this recording. Let the sound be a part of you. And when your mind wanders, just bring it back. And this is a small taster of what I'm talking about, I suppose. This very simple thing to do, but this thing that's quite difficult to do because our minds are always wandering and they're always curious. You know, I listen to the birds and I can't help but be curious about what kind of bird that might be and why it's so noisy. You know, many times and in many episodes I would turn my head, I would talk about what's happening, and I think that's, you know, a really, you know, valid thing to do. And that's the thing with ecotherapy exercises, that there are many different ways of bonding with nature. Okay, that one nearly took my head off then. That was hard to ignore. Did you hear its wings? That was a nice moment. But this way of bonding with nature, this stillness, is a way of not, I guess, looking at nature as something that's outside of ourselves and us as being the centre of our existence, but a way of, in our stillness, almost letting ourselves dissolve a little and letting our ego dissolve. Standing somewhere out in nature, and I invite you to do this sometime this week. Or if you can't get out, you know, try it even from a window. You know, I know one of my recent podcasts was a guy called Colin in Calgary in Canada, who can't get out a lot of the time at the moment because the weather is so extremely cold and icy. So if you can find ways of practicing this stillness at a window with nature, then please do it, you know. And when you're still, just let the sounds be part of your experience without attaching to them. Let the sights of nature, the landscape, be part of your experience. Even if there are so-called human-made things in there, you know, buildings, whatever. I'm here amongst this whiteness of the snow and the hills right now. And these unruly birds, I have to say. You know, this is the funny thing about being an ecotherapist. You know, the amount of times I've invited people to do exercises with birds, you know, like I want you to go bird watching and I want you to, you know, find as many as you can, or I've tried to make a video of birds to share, or I've been on an ecotherapy walk and I've said, let's all look out for birds. You know, they're never anywhere to be seen. But here today, in this moment of stillness, they're everywhere and all different kinds, and I love it, you know. I love that because you can't control nature. You can't predict what's going to happen with it. And when we're still, we can do that. And something that might, you know, help. And a part of a practice of stillness is meditation, full stop. So, you know, I know a lot of people don't do well with meditation, and I think that's totally fine, you know. So this is an optional thing for those of you who are drawn to it. On my website there is a free meditation called Zazen, which is the type of meditation that I practice, and this is Buddhist Zen meditation. So as a lot of you know, I'm a Buddhist, and for me, I practice this indoors every day for half an hour or so, and learning to be still with, I think, our own thoughts and our own experience without attaching to all of the thoughts that come and go in our mind. At times when we're indoors or in any location, I think helps us to be able to be still with life when we are out in nature as well. So if you're interested in trying that out, I give a guided meditation, so you can go and try that. But if not, just try at different moments when you're indoors as well as outdoors. So just sitting with yourself and trying not to follow your thoughts, and then bring that outdoors and become a part of nature, become a part of the scene that you're in. Don't focus on any one part. Let the sounds come and go. And recognize yourself as a part of this huge picture, this one life, if you like. I was tempted to wrap up the episode there, but I thought, I want to, while you're here, just invite you again for another moment of stillness before I do wrap it up. Again, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, just take a moment to focus on your breath. Allow the sounds of the birds on my podcast and any sounds that are happening where you are to come and go. Let them be a part of you. Feel your breath coming in and out. And when your mind wanders, bring it back to your breath and notice your thoughts without attaching to them. Don't push them away, but don't grasp at them either. You might notice these sounds of my feet on the snow, but try not to visualize what that looks like. And if memories come and go, let them come and go. Just let these sounds and any sights, scents in your environment, things you feel, temperature, just be a part of everything. Okay, folks, stillness. Try it this week as much as you can, as often as you can. I want to thank you for tuning in and listening, and I also want to thank all of these unruly birds in my garden. So many of them. Before I go, I'd just like to remind you that if you do appreciate the podcast and you're able to donate a little something towards it to help me run it, help me to keep this a permanent part of my life and my work, you can check that out on my website at patreon.com/naturetherapyonline. You get lots of lovely rewards if you do. But if you're not in a position to, then that's equally as great, and thank you very much for tuning in anyway. It means a lot to me that you do, and I hope me and these noisy birds have brought something positive to your day. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself, and bye-bye. Visit me online at naturetherapyonline.net.